Hello and welcome to Math with Mr. Bagshaw. I teach two courses for the Bentonville Virtual School this year. The first is Algebra 1 and the second is Bridge to Algebra 2. There are two main things that I wanted to accomplish with this video. The first is to give you an idea of what we're doing this week. And then the second is to give you some insight as to how Buzz works. Buzz is our learning management system for all things Algebra 1 and Bridge to Algebra 2. So there are a few things inside of Buzz that I really think that you should know, both parents and students. So please make sure you watch the duration of this video, and I think these things will be helpful. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. This is our Buzz website. I've asked all the students to bookmark this. If it doesn't say Bentonville Schools on this home page, then they are probably in the wrong spot. So if they're having issues logging in, that's probably why. All right, so I've got my login up here. I have the luxury of both teacher access and student. So I'm going to look at my student account. And this is exactly what it should look like on your end, students. I've got two courses because I'm enrolled in both of these. So I'm going to go to my Bridge to Algebra 2 class. All right, when I open this up, if you'll notice, there are a couple things that I want you to notice, okay? Once you click on the icon, it brings you to this screen. Okay, so you've got this list of assignments and lessons. And then this information right here, this shows you my current average. Now, as a student, I've intentionally not done well and not completed some of my assignments because I wanted to see this from a student's perspective for those students in that same boat. All right, so I've currently got an 18.18% in this class. That's not great. I'm going to go look at more specific detail as to my grades. So this little graph right here, this is all that I would want to see as far as my grades. So I'm going to move my picture here. So again, this is from a student perspective. Okay, so I can see my algebra course right here. I see that on my pretest, I've got a 0, but I have this little arrow that allows me to retake. My numerical operations, I have a 100, and I turned it in on September 14th, but it was due on September 6th. So that kind of gives me an idea. I'm 8 days behind the times here. That's not good. Also due that very first week, I noticed I have 3 other zeros. Okay, and then I have this other list down here that from a teacher side of things, this will soon populate to a 0 for this student. In this case is me. But these were all assignments that were due on September 13th. Okay, so this particular spot right here, the grade book within Buzz for students, is where you're going to find exactly what you should be doing, when things were due originally, and then when you submitted them. Okay, so this is a great one-stop shop for all things Buzz. Now I'm going to take you back over to the activities page. Now here's what I don't like about Buzz that's super confusing. So make sure that you pay attention to this. And by pay attention, I mean pretty much disregard. All right. Notice that I have a whole lot of green checks. If I logged in here, I would assume, wow, I'm doing really well. Look at all those things that I've accomplished. But in reality, I haven't done these things. Okay. So that grade book, which is found right here, this little grades tab or icon, I guess it's a graph icon, that will give me better insight. Okay. Now my to-do list, if I click on my to-do list, this shows me, excuse me, all of the assignments I have yet to do that will be graded for me. Okay, so this is 6 of them. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to try to take, I feel more comfortable with units and graphs, more so than algebraic expressions. So I'm going to click on units and graphs. And then if I notice, it says, okay, I've attempted it 0 out of 2 times. I'm going to go ahead and retake it. Okay, so I'm not going to take this right here, but as a student, I could if I wanted to. Now, let's say I am more interested in translations, okay? Let's say I'm better at this. I click on this to take it, but this little message comes up. It says, you must successfully complete the following activities before viewing this. So I have to go complete the lesson. All right, so let's go back. Inside of this folder, all right, so this is everything that's been assigned so far. If you'll notice these icons, you've got this blank page icon. This represents the lesson. This is where we are going to do our learning. And I apologize for the background information. I've got a lot of people in this room while I'm making the video. I don't know if they don't know I'm filming or what, but it's kind of loud. So this blank page icon, this is the lesson for the week, or not for the week, but for this particular thing. And then you would go to the actual icon with the check mark and the two boxes and the little dashes. Okay. So there is a lesson for each piece, and then there's also an assignment. Okay. So make sure that you do these. Again, it looks like I've done a whole lot, but if I go back to my grade book, all right, and let's take a look at algebraic expressions. This is the assignment. It says, oh, good, you finished it, check mark. But that's not true. If I come over here, I notice that algebraic expressions, I have a 0. I have not done that, okay? Now, the problem is when a student turns in something after the deadline or misses the deadline, it automatically kicks it to a 0 and adds that green check mark as if they have attempted that particular assignment. That's very confusing. So train yourself to ignore those green check marks and come look in your Buzz gradebook. That's the best way to see that, okay? All right, last thing I want to do is point out, I'm going to come down to, let's see if I have it in my activities. I'm going to come down to the last thing that should be in here. Let's see, I can't see it because it's below my, I need to hide that. Okay, Module 1 test. So here's a big announcement. We've got our first math test next week in both Algebra 1 and Bridge to Algebra 2. All right, so I'm just going to give you this little bit of a lesson, okay? So it shows you module test, and students will be able to open this up. Now, guess what? This is forcing me to go back, okay? It's saying you're not ready to take the module test because you haven't done the lesson 1.5 and then really anything past that. So I cannot even open this. So if next week you come to take the test and you haven't done your assignments, it's going to give you a message saying you don't have access to this. So make sure that you have everything completed for this course so that Buzz will give you access to the test. What I was going to show you, if it would have opened this, was the stipulations for the test. You cannot change the tabs. You cannot exit the browser. Once you open the test, you are required to sit there in that space, in that time, and finish it. Otherwise, excuse me, it will automatically submit the test and you will receive whatever grade you receive. So the big thing, students, here is make sure that when you look at the lesson for that module test, that you pay attention to those 4 or 5 bullet points. All right, it will tell you all of the things that you cannot do. And if you do them, it will submit the test right then and there. So you don't want to be in that boat. So make sure you pay super close attention. Okay, so be aware of the green check marks in Buzz, both students and parents. That does not mean that that particular lesson or assignment has been completed. Number 2, next week on the 21st for my A-Day students and the 22nd for my B-Day students, we will be having our very first test. So please plan to be in class. Those classes those 2 days are mandatory because I have some very important information to share with you regarding the test, and I want to make sure you don't have any questions on your first Buzz test of the year. All right. Again, welcome to Math with Mr. Bashaw. If you have any questions, please email me. My email is jbashaw, B-A-S-H-A-W, at bentonvillek12.org. And I'm really excited to be working with you this year, students, and your students to you parents. All right. Thank you for watching. I will talk to you all soon.